today. Let's cross now to Gulliver Cragg, who's in Belarus on the border. Gulliver, what did the Belarusian leader have to say?
Well, this is very much, of course, a PR operation for Alexander Lukashenko. He wants to paint Europe as the villain of the peace and Belarus as the country that is really trying to help them. And judging by the reactions from migrants here, the main takeaway that the ones we spoke to anyway got was that Alexander Lukashenko said that he was going to negotiate with countries like France and Germany and get them to take migrants. They seem to take away from his speech some kind of hope, which is very disingenuous, really, of Alexander Lukashenko to say that, because the European Union has been united on this, standing with Poland basically in its strong stance against letting the migrants in and condemning the Belarusian regime for sending them this way. But you do get the impression that people here are willing to snatch at any glimmer of hope that they see, and Alexander Lukashenko's visit today seemed clearly intended to give them that. But I remind you that the European Union does not even recognize Alexander Lukashenko as the legitimate president of Belarus following 2020's fraudulent election and the crackdown on protests that ensued. So the idea that they're now going to do a deal with him seems pretty far-fetched, at least at this stage anyway.
Gulliver, what is the situation like for those remaining migrants on the border?
Well, they are housed in the logistics centre behind me. This is a trucking centre, basically. So they've got a warm place to sleep, most of them. They come out into this courtyard where they get free distributions of food, but they told us that there's not enough food. Actually, when we arrived today, there was a huge crowd waiting to get that food, and they said that they waited for a long time before the distribution started in order to be sure of getting some. Somebody else told us, a migrant from Iraq told us that people take more than their fair share and then sell their rations later, so there's a bit of tension about that. There are also distributions of clothing and blankets that happen in this courtyard. By the way that the migrants rush towards them every time they arrive, you definitely get the impression that there's not enough to go round. Another thing that they complain about is that although there's warmth in there, there is not electricity, and they're not able to charge the power banks of their phones, which is really for many migrants the most crucial thing that they have.
Gulliver Cragg reporting there from Belarus. Thank you so much.